NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, has been at the forefront of space exploration since its inception in 1958. Over the decades, NASA has achieved monumental milestones, including the Apollo moon landings and the Mars rover missions. However, in recent years, discussions have intensified regarding the potential privatization of NASA's operations. Proponents argue that privatization could lead to increased efficiency, innovation, and cost-effectiveness in space exploration. They point to private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin, which have demonstrated remarkable advancements in space technology. For instance, SpaceX's development of reusable rockets has significantly reduced the cost of launching payloads into space. This innovation has opened new possibilities for both commercial and scientific missions beyond Earth's atmosphere. Moreover, private enterprises often operate with greater agility, allowing them to adapt quickly to emerging challenges and opportunities. This flexibility can be crucial in the rapidly evolving landscape of space exploration and technology development. Additionally, privatization could alleviate the financial burden on taxpayers by attracting private investment into space programs. This influx of capital might accelerate the pace of innovation and expand the scope of achievable missions. However, critics caution that privatizing NASA could compromise the agency's commitment to scientific research and public interest. They argue that private companies may prioritize profit over the pursuit of knowledge and exploration. This shift in focus could lead to the neglect of fundamental research that lacks immediate commercial applications. Furthermore, there are concerns about equitable access to space and the potential monopolization of space resources. Without proper regulation, privatization might exacerbate inequalities and limit opportunities for international collaboration. NASA has historically played a pivotal role in fostering international partnerships and sharing scientific discoveries. Privatization could disrupt these collaborations, hindering the global exchange of knowledge and expertise. Moreover, the commercialization of space raises ethical questions about the exploitation of extraterrestrial environments. There is a risk that profit-driven activities could harm celestial bodies and compromise their scientific value. Environmental concerns also extend to the accumulation of space debris resulting from increased private launches. This debris poses threats to both manned and unmanned missions, necessitating stringent regulatory oversight. Another critical consideration is national security, as space technologies have significant military applications. Privatization could complicate the control and oversight of sensitive technologies with defense implications. Balancing commercial interests with national security priorities would require robust governance frameworks. Furthermore, the privatization debate encompasses the issue of data accessibility and transparency. NASA's open data policies have facilitated widespread scientific research and innovation across various disciplines. Private companies may not have the same commitment to data sharing, potentially limiting scientific progress. The potential loss of publicly available data could hinder educational initiatives and citizen science projects. Additionally, workforce implications must be considered, as privatization could affect employment conditions and job security. NASA employees often benefit from stable careers and opportunities for long-term professional development. Transitioning to a privatized model might lead to more precarious employment arrangements and reduced benefits. This shift could impact employee morale and the retention of experienced personnel within the space industry. Moreover, the educational and outreach missions of NASA play a vital role in inspiring future generations. Privatization could deprioritize these initiatives, focusing instead on revenue-generating activities. This change might diminish public engagement and interest in space exploration and science. The cultural significance of NASA as a symbol of national achievement and aspiration is also noteworthy. Privatization could alter public perception and diminish the sense of collective ownership over space endeavors. Furthermore, the legal and regulatory frameworks governing space activities would need to adapt to increased privatization. Establishing clear guidelines and accountability mechanisms would be essential to ensure responsible conduct. International treaties, such as the Outer Space Treaty, provide foundational principles for space exploration. However, these agreements may require updates to address the complexities introduced by private sector involvement. The role of government oversight in maintaining compliance with international obligations would remain critical. Additionally, the potential for conflicts of interest between commercial objectives and public responsibilities must be managed. Transparent decision-making processes and stakeholder engagement would be necessary to navigate these challenges. Public opinion on the privatization of NASA is diverse, reflecting a range of perspectives and priorities. Some citizens express enthusiasm for the innovation and dynamism associated with private enterprises. Others emphasize the importance of maintaining public control over space exploration for the common good. Surveys indicate that many Americans support a collaborative approach between NASA and private companies. This partnership model seeks to leverage the strengths of both sectors to advance space exploration. Examples of successful collaborations include NASA's Commercial Crew program, which involves companies like SpaceX and Boeing. These partnerships have enabled cost-effective transportation of astronauts to the International Space Station. Such initiatives demonstrate the potential benefits of combining public oversight with private innovation. However, delineating the roles and responsibilities of each party remains a complex endeavor. Clear contractual agreements and performance metrics are essential to ensure accountability and mission success. Furthermore, the allocation of intellectual property rights arising from joint ventures must be carefully negotiated. This consideration affects the dissemination of technological advancements and their broader societal impact. The integration of private entities into NASA's operations also raises questions about risk management and liability. Establishing protocols for addressing accidents or failures is crucial to protect human life and investments. Insurance mechanisms and contingency planning would play a vital role in mitigating potential losses. Moreover, the competitive dynamics introduced by privatization could influence the prioritization of missions. Market-driven considerations might favor projects with immediate commercial returns over long-term scientific endeavors. This shift could impact the diversity and scope of research conducted under NASA's auspices. Ensuring a balanced portfolio of missions would require deliberate planning and resource allocation. Additionally, the potential for duplication of efforts among private companies could lead to inefficiencies. Coordinated strategies and information sharing would be necessary to optimize resource utilization. The establishment of industry standards and best practices could facilitate collaboration and interoperability. Furthermore, the global nature of space exploration necessitates consideration of international competition and cooperation. Privatization in one country could influence the strategic decisions of other nations' space agencies. This dynamic underscores the importance of diplomatic engagement and multilateral agreements in space governance. The emergence of new spacefaring nations adds complexity to the geopolitical landscape of space activities. Balancing national interests with collective goals will be a central challenge in the era of privatized space exploration. Moreover, the commercialization of space may accelerate the development of space-based industries and economies. This growth presents opportunities for job creation, technological advancement, and economic diversification. However, it also necessitates the establishment of regulatory frameworks to ensure fair competition and ethical practices. Developing these frameworks will require collaboration among policymakers, scientists, industry leaders, and civil society. It is essential to prioritize inclusivity and transparency in shaping the future of space governance. The future of NASA and space exploration will likely involve a hybrid model blending public and private efforts. This model would aim to harness private sector innovation while preserving the public mission of space exploration. NASA could continue to lead groundbreaking research while enabling commercial entities to provide operational capabilities. Such a model could maximize efficiency, innovation, and accessibility in space activities. However, careful oversight and clear policy direction would be necessary to manage this complex ecosystem. The success of this approach depends on mutual trust, shared values, and a commitment to the greater good. Ultimately, the question of whether NASA should be privatized reflects broader debates about the role of government. It challenges us to consider how best to steward shared resources and pursue collective aspirations. The stakes are high, as decisions made today will shape humanity's future in space for generations to come. As we stand on the brink of a new space age, thoughtful dialogue and informed decision-making are more important than ever. Whether through public institutions, private ventures, or collaborative models, our journey into space continues. This journey holds the promise of discovery, innovation, and a deeper understanding of our place in the universe. Maintaining a balance between innovation and public responsibility will be key to achieving lasting success. NASA's legacy offers a foundation of excellence, but its future must evolve to meet new challenges. Privatization is not a one-size-fits-all solution, and its implications must be carefully weighed. A nuanced approach that blends strengths from both sectors may offer the best path forward. In doing so, we can preserve the integrity of scientific exploration while embracing the opportunities of commercialization. It is vital to keep public interest at the heart of all decisions about space exploration and governance. Our shared vision for space should reflect humanity's highest ideals: curiosity, cooperation, and stewardship. As we look to the stars, let us ensure that our ambitions are guided by wisdom, equity, and purpose.